Evening, sports fans, and welcome to Sports Roundup here in the basement show with Mr. Nest. As you can see, it is Mr. Nest tonight. Mr. Ron Tessie is on vacation. So, during the show solo, we might have a couple guests pop in and out. We hope everyone had a good weekend. We are sorry that we all talked in the air last night. We had some technical difficulties on the show. It happened, but we got it back up and running. So, here we are. Mr. Bill Beebe in chat already. Good evening, Bill. Nice to see you. Hope everyone had a good Tuesday. I had a relaxing Tuesday. Evening, Mr. Malls. Alan Malls in chat already. Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in tonight. Well, Mama D, you're back on Twitch. There you go. Mr. Jason Tessie. Hello, sir. But yes, if you're curious, we are back live on Twitch this week. We got it back on Saturday, was our first show back. And then, like I said, the whole system crashed yesterday. So unfortunately, we had to postpone Real Talk. We hope to get that back going soon. So, yeah. But if not, stay close to the basement show because you never know what announcements you might hear. But how's everyone doing tonight? I appreciate all you for jumping in. Let me know who else is in chat. So far, I got Bill, Mr. Allen, Jason, Mama D on Twitch. So, who else is out there in either Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch? Let me know you're in, and we can get this ball rocking and rolling. See what people want to dive into. I know my buddy, Mr. Sam Simmons, will be joining us at some point of this evening. I know he has a lot on his mind. 13 hours yesterday, 9.5 hours today. I'm exhausted. I'm just reading that makes me tired. So, kudos to you for at least still popping in tonight and showing some support to the basement show. That is quite awesome. I mean, hopefully you're able to get a good night's sleep and get less hours tomorrow. You go back to like a normal schedule. So, yeah. I mean, kind of reminds me of what I used to do back in the day, honestly. I mean, I had a Facebook post pop up last year on my Facebook feed from 12 years ago. And it said, guess who just worked 115 hours in 2 weeks? Yeah, this guy. Not so much. Miss Grimm is still at work. That lady's working too much. But she's also doing a lot of side work also. So everyone stay tuned for all that fun stuff coming soon. And Jason's asking, who else cried during Jason Kelsey's presser? Jason, I got to say, sir, that it was probably one of the most emotional farewells to a sporting athlete I've ever watched in my entire life. You can tell he put his heart and soul into writing that. I mean, when you have a illustrious career of 13 years with one organization, you leave it all in the field. And I feel that's what he did. So, in true Jason Kelsey fashion, he covered all the basics. So, I will admit it was definitely a tearjerker. I teared up a little bit. But I am happy for him. I don't think he leaves the organization. I think he stays. Whether it be a front office position or he might become a special assistant to Jeff Stoutland since they work hand in hand together. But it was definitely touching. I will say that. I mean, but yeah, 13 years with one professional team nowadays is kind of unheard of. So, I mean, I'm happy to see him go out on top. Hello, Gary. I agree. That was a very magical time yesterday with his speech. His Super Bowl speech was better. A first ballot Hall of Famer. Ooh. Jason, that's a tough question. If I'm being modest, I say yes just because I'm an Eagles fan and what he did for the city for so long. But you also got to take into accountability like what other athletes have yet to get into the Hall of Fame. So I mean, it's gonna be very, very close. I'll say that too much. It'll be a very close yes to no margin, I think. I saw Jason Kelsey as the new general manager. He can be Harry's sidekick. They can drink up in the box. Yo, Mr. Sharky, Damon Chat. Gary, it is the whole team. I mean, Eagles are going to be going for a big transition. I hope to maybe branch out as the offseason gets going, because the NFL offseason, if you ask me, is my favorite time of year. I could sit down, get notebooks out, and just go writing for days. So that's how you got to look at it. I mean, it's not just that's we're a Philly based podcast. We're in South Jersey. I get that. But there's 31 other teams out in the league who want coverage too. So, I mean, you got to branch out. I know my friend Mr. Simmons is like me. He's very diverse. He knows a lot of different teams. The Hall of Fame already said he is getting in the first year, but there you go. Hey, Funky Mike on Twitch, how you doing, sir? Hey, how come no real talk last night? We had some technical difficulties last night with StreamYard. On our end, we were able to fix it. So, yes, Mama D says technical difficulties. Thank you, Mama D. Jason Kelsey will be in a Darren Sproles, Connor Baldwin type role. I could see that. I could definitely see that, Jason. I mean, they'd be foolish not to keep him within the organization. I will say that. I get. Here you go. I salute you. But no, Jason's right. I would love to see Jason stay in a advisor role with his team, because he has meant so much to the city and the organization to not give him the credit. So, damn Skynet. So next Monday, real talk. I like that night. Well, we shall see, Mike. We shall see. But other than the whole Jason Kelsey press conference yesterday, news also broke that you had Zach Wheeler signing a 3-year, $140-something million extension to stay with the Phillies. It came out to be like $42 million a season at the tail end of a career. I mean, I get it. Players want to have that longevity and stay with one team till they retire. But that's a hell of a lot of money for an aging pitcher. $42 million a year. I mean, Phillies are dedicated to winning. As everybody knows, the last couple of years they have spent. I mean, so that would be quite interesting. Sixers and Flyers are both up and down right now, so I don't want to go too much into other sport, because I know Mr. Simmons wants to touch on basketball, because he is a San Antonio Spurs fan. What else do we have? You had a pretty dominant NASCAR race in Kyle Larson taking the checkered flag and like basically running the show. What about March Madness? Okay, well, there you go. What I can say about March Madness here is going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, you have no undefeated teams, which is a very rarity nowadays in college basketball for one. I think your number one seed right now has 3 losses, and one of your top 10 teams just lost their 2 games last week. So they dropped, I think, from like 7th to like 18th. I mean, I can pull up rankings real quick if you would like. Let's see. But we can start with March Madness. I like that, Mama D. Let's see what we can get into. Let's see. Well, the brackets haven't started yet. The selection Sunday isn't till St. Patrick's Day, believe it or not. So this week and next week, you will have conference tournaments. So as everyone knows, if you win your conference tournament, you get an automatic bid into the tournament. And I think there's like 26 or so conferences out in there in college basketball. It's an absurd amount of numbers. Yeah, I mean, Villanova is a bubble team, I would say, at best right now. Let's see, rankings right now. Because now you figure instead of the 64 teams in the bracket, you have 68. So, yeah, I mean, any team can win. If you go in that magical run during your conference tournament, they see it and they take it into consideration. So, yes, I would say Villanova has a good chance of sneaking in. So, let me just close my ad real quick. So right now you have Houston as the number 1 overall seed in the AP poll at 26-3. UConn is also 26-3. Purdue is 26-3. But then here's where it drops off. You have Tennessee at the number 4 seed as a 23-6 record. That is unheard of. So, I mean, I guess I'm being joined by somebody. Let me see if they want to pop in the studio to get my headphones on so I can hear what they're saying because I don't have speakers hooked up. So, let's see. Let's see what this person has to offer. Hello? Oh, don't make his muted still. Okay. Well,
Is it muted?
nope, there you go. Thank you for joining Sports Roundup. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Always a good night.
Always a good night. Yeah, I was just going over some college basketball rankings because I know you're not much of a sports guy. Some of you have that predominant team in college basketball that you know is going to just run the tournament. Because it's like,
pop in.
Yep, surprise popping. There you go. The good old Rev himself. But because I think him and Mrs. Grimm are going to be unveiling something in a couple minutes, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish working on the other piece right now. Just 1 second.
You can show them the one.
I will as soon as I'm cutting this.
But yeah, going back to the rankings real quick. You got 3 teams at 23-6. Bill Beebe saying, "What up, Grimm family?" for you guys. As always, Mr. Beebe's in chat.
Real quick, basement show has start to be made.
Yep, there you go. You got your first Web Grimm Show shirt. It says, "I love you, assholes." The heart shaped tiny with the Web Grimm Show written at the bottom.
And then on the back.
Yeah, there you go. How you like that?
So there you go. The missus has been working her butt off. And Rev Grimm merch, according to also, let's see, the Rev Grimm stickers.
Yeah, we have
the basement stickers.
Yep, the website's now strung across the bottom. If you want to go check out what they've been doing, they've been definitely busy. For sure, I mean...
The basement show shirts are not up on the website as of yet because they literally just got done.
Well, there you go.
So they will be up hopefully within the next day or two. We are making stuff and cooking dinner.
That's called multitasking.
And dealing with a very clean dog.
Yeah, Luna's coming to see you.
Very stingy dog, huh? I volunteer as tribute.
For Luna?
No, that's what Mama D says. But, no, I mean, it's just like a pretty much wide open tournament. Going back to what Mama D was saying about March Madness. I mean, I don't have the full 64. See, what you got to learn to do, sir, since you just sent that out on 3 platforms, see what it says? All?
Yep.
And you can change it on what platform you want to type to.
Yeah, but I know, but now it's on all.
There you go. That works for me.
But you never know. Sometimes people are watching on 2 platforms.
That is true. That is very, very true. But let's see real quick. I'm going to stain these real quick. Let's see. Villanova. Villanova. There we go. 10-8 in their conference. And 17-12 overall. I mean, that's a little bit tough, but like I said, if you get on the run race in the tournament, you never know what you can happen. So, but they got some tough competition in the Big East. So you got the number 2 seed, 8 seed, and 10 seed overall right now in the entire country. So that's going to be a very tough Big East tournament this year, I think.
We only killed one.
But Kansas dropped from 7 to 14. Now they're 21-8.
It's
so The Big 12 conference is a very tough conference this year. What else do we have? Duke and North Carolina running the ACC per usual. The Dayton Flyers, wow. Atlantic 10.
What were you saying about the angel picture? You don't like that?
No, I do. I didn't realize this and this were both angels. I thought it was an angel. Like this was supposed to be like Damon and Britt.
Alright, so I don't know if Jason Tassie's still in chat or not. Who would you say would be your favorite to win it all for college basketball? Mama D, same question goes for you. Since you like the March Madness so much, I don't know if you follow the tournament religiously or not, but yeah, Selection Sunday will be Sunday, March 17th. So you have what, a week and a half to go? So yeah, I mean, definitely gonna be interesting. I mean, it's gonna be a wide open thing. I'm hoping to still do a bracket tournament. Not really, but I'm going with Villanova. A local team, I can understand that. So, I mean, I am going to start a bracketology tournament. If anyone wants to join it, let me know. Feel free to get a hold of me somehow. Hello, Dave. Oh, I guess Mr. Clayton's hanging out in chat. Hello, Mr. Clayton. Don't be shy. Say hello. Let us know you're here. But, and then the women's side, you had a pretty big milestone. There you go. I'll do it. There you go. Bill Beebe's in the bracketology tournament. I mean, it wouldn't be for any money. It would just be for fun. So anyone is welcome to join it. But this past weekend, also in college women's basketball, Caitlin Clark of Iowa just broke like a 35-year-old all-time scoring record for the points in her collegiate career. It's like 9,000 points or something in 4 years. Pretty impressive shit. I am echoing on your service, Grim. But let's see. Let's see if I can find the exact total real quick. Hold on. Caitlin. I should have you. Caitlin Clark stats. And they backed that. That's okay. We were just wanting to show everybody the lovely projects they've been working on for the basement show. So let's see. They'll tell me how many points it is. So she has a now career total of 3,685 career points in a collegiate level scoring wise. So I mean, impressive. That's just absolutely incredible. I mean, there's only 1 year she had 4 digits, and that was last year. She put up 1,055 points in a stretch of how many games was it? I think she played 30 games last year too. So I mean, that's pretty damn good. And she's a great shooter. She takes a hell of a lot of shots during the season. But she's also one of the few who have come out and said, sure, I may declare for the WNBA draft, but I'm not going to let my team down. I'm still going to play March Madness. So that's a complete team player right there. So kudos to Miss Caitlin Clark for setting the all-time record for women's basketball. Right now you have one undefeated team, and that's South Carolina, coached by no other than Dawn Staley, who used to be tied to this area a lot and then left the area to pursue the job at South Carolina, and she's done a wonderful job down in South Carolina. Your normal teams like UConn, who's always up there in the women's, right now sitting in the 9th seed. Stanford's always been pretty good. Oh yeah. Dawn Staley is absolutely amazing. I think she's already in the Hall of Fame for basketball, if I'm not mistaken. Which, if you're still coaching and already a Hall of Famer, you're doing something right. I know in the NBA, Sam's Greg Popovich is that way already too. So, but like usually, the women's side is usually pretty predictable. They try to keep UConn and South Carolina separate, and two different sides of the bracket. So when it comes to March Madness, they can almost guarantee that kind of UConn because they always put on a hell of a show when they face off against each other. So I think South Carolina's already beat UConn once this season. I would have to go back and look, but yeah, I mean both tournaments should be set by St. Patrick's Day. Now I don't know much about the women's side of it, and men's always just a crapshoot. But I know Bill said he would do it. So if anyone else is interested in joining our bracketology, please let me know. The more the welcome. And like I said, it's not for any money, it's just to have fun. But yeah, what else is on people's minds tonight? I know, like I said, Sam wants to cover some stuff when he pops in a little bit. But just like besides for the Jason Kelsey news, like yesterday we had heard that Denver Broncos are moving on from Russell Wilson and a cap saving move, I guess you can say, even though they're going to accrue $85 million in dead money, which, if you don't know what dead cap money is in the NFL, it is money that is basically still on your books to a certain player. I mean,
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the brackets that you were talking about?
Yes.
All right. So if you get that all going,
yeah,
and you keep track, the winner of the brackets will get a free basement logo T-shirt.
Well, there you go. You heard it from Grim himself. You guys go back and watch the show. If you heard it live, if you join our bracketology tournament and you win it other than ourselves, we will give you a free T-shirt representing the basement show. There you go. Something more incentive to join the fun. Bill says that's a very nice prize. And you're muted again. But that's okay. I think that just wanted to pop in and say that. Yeah, so there you have it from the horse's mouth itself. If you join a bracketology tournament and you win it, other than anyone who is involved with the basement show, you win a shirt. And as you can see, the shirts are good. I'm sure they'll let you maybe pick a design that you want. So, Bill, if you like the I Love You Asshole shirt, maybe they'll make that one for you. So, yeah, that pretty awesome. I didn't know that one was coming. But that's what we do. We like to surprise people sometimes. But yeah, just going back to football real quick. I mean, there you go. He's still sitting on the screen and he says, yep, you can pick whatever shirt design you want. So it could just be a plain basement show shirt, a group photo one, just have the shirt with logo on it. You can represent a certain show. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. And something definitely to look forward to. So, like I said, we still have another, let me see my calendar real quick. So today is March 5th. The tournaments probably start this Thursday and go all the way till next Saturday. So the selection Sunday, like I said, is St. Patrick's Day. So we should have our bracket up and running, the bracketology, by the 19th. Because I'm pretty sure the playing games for the tournament, since you now have those 4 playing games, will be either Tuesday the 19th or Wednesday the 20th. Let me see if I can find the schedule real quick. Then we can get a definite idea on when those brackets would need to be done by. Let me. Tuesday and Wednesday, both days. There you go. So if the selection Sunday is on Sunday, then we can get the brackets up live overnight Sunday. You fill out your brackets no later than tip off of the first game on Tuesday. You then entered into a contest. So that would be pretty cool. Share this out, see if anybody else wants to join us. But what was this? Wait, I just saw something. Former Phillies outfielder Jason Woods is succeeding on a different timing of track. Former Phillies outfielder Jason Woods is picking up a new hobby in retirement: horse racing. The 2008 World Series co-owns a horse. So there you go. That won the Fountain of Youth Stakes on Saturday in Holiday Beach, Florida, and it looks like a strong contender for the Kentucky Derby and other Triple Crown races. Well, there you go, Jason Woods getting into horse racing. But I've never imagined that, because if everyone remembers the '08 Phillies team, Jason Woods looks like the caveman that played baseball. Kind of funny. But hey, I mean, once you're retired, you gotta find something else to do, and I guess he found a passion in horse racing. Good for him. Well, what other crazy things do we have? Let's see. Eagles $8.5 million playmaker name can't afford to lose. Okay, this article just talking about DeAndre Swift has to stay with Philly. I mean, a lot of people were up about him last year. I thought he did pretty good. I mean, he stayed healthy all year, which is a big plus, because you never really see that with his career, whether it was here in Philly. Well, he was only here in Philly last year, but like Detroit, he had been injury riddled by injuries. So I think last year, not getting that many touches maybe actually helped to keep him healthy for a full season, which is pretty awesome. We acquired him last year in a draft day trade. Westbrook career high 1,049, which should have been a lot higher, but they stopped giving him the ball, which typical Philly, they always do. But that's another article I had seen that I'm trying to save for Mr. Simmons, but yeah, I mean, free agency does begin next Wednesday. Mr. Nast's favorite time of year. Yeah, I've said it before. I've said it once. I love the NFL offseason. Watching all the different players, where they come, they go, and so forth. It's always a lot of fun. So I don't know if Bill, you follow football religiously like I do or not, but it's definitely an interesting time of year when it comes to NFL offseason stuff. So, but if you're still in chat, let me know you're here. I know one of them I'm watching on my phone. See, Bill follows it. I know. Is now, Bill, this question's for you since you answered. Is it football only sport you follow, or should be interesting to see who goes where? And I couldn't agree with you more, especially this year, being the fact that the league average right now, well, the league salary cap, I should say, is being set at $255.4 million. I follow the 4 major sports. Okay, fair enough. So you're pretty knowledgeable like me across the board. I like it. So, I mean, $255.4 million in NFL cap space this year. So we're going to actually see, if I can find this real quick, NFL salary cap by team. Eagles have a ton of money to spend. Well, since they cut Kevin Byard last week, that allows them to have just about $40 million, I think. Which, yes, that is a lot of money, but there are other teams that have more. So the list I just found is the whole entire list of the NFL. I don't know if this is going to show up well or not on here, but let's see. Nah, I can't. I'll just read it out loud. Oops. Oh, there we go. Oh, not that one. There you go. So, according to this list, number 1 right now, you have the Washington Commanders with an approximate almost $96.1 million to spend. The Tennessee Titans, $80.6 million. The Patriots, $78.4 million. Houston Texans, $70 million. What else do we have? The Indianapolis Colts, $73.9 million. Detroit is up there, $59.4 million. Baltimore, $58.5 million. Chicago Bears, $57.5 million. I mean, some of these numbers are just mind-blowing. The Eagles are down in the 17th position with the most money to spend, $39.6 million. But, like, The problem nowadays, though, is the price has gone up tremendously. Like the cost, like I think they said the franchise tag this year for the wide receiver position is going to be roughly $21.2 million to sign someone to a franchise tag at the wide receiver position. And I know the Colts have signed, well, they offered it out to Michael Pittman Jr. to keep him in town. Because there's a lot of rumors that he would have been one of the ones that would have walked away to try to get a long term deal elsewhere. But, like, it's just unheard of to see, like, teams that have almost $100 million in money to spend. Now, what they do with that money, that's a different story. But unfortunately, at the bottom of the list, you do have some teams who is still technically over the cap, which is kind of crazy to think of. But right now you have, let's see, the 49ers, $3.4 million over. Dallas Cowboys, a little bit more than $4 million. The New Orleans Saints, 15.4. The LA Chargers, 25.1. Miami Dolphins, 25.4. Denver Broncos, 19.2. But they have a lot of dead money now since they've talked about getting rid of Russell Wilson, which baffles me in a sense. And then the team with the most money over the cap, according to this list, the Buffalo Bills are over the cap by $40 million. Wow. Well, then again, Miami and Buffalo, what you call those teams that go all in to try to win set championships. I mean, does it work sometimes? Absolutely. Use the Los Angeles Rams as an example. The year they won, look how much they went out and spent. Damn, that's going to be fun for them to try to get under cap. I agree. Teams always find a way to do it. You got to admit that. They find ways to do it. Because just a couple years ago, the LA Rams were in that same situation. Like $20 million over the cap. But now you look at it, the Rams have $43 million in cap space to spend. So, I mean, it can either come back to bite you in the ass, or you flip it around and you wind up having a junk load of money to spend. So, I mean, yeah, couple, like $3-4 million, that's not hard to make up. That's easy. That's kind of like chump change to some teams. They can easily just ship one player out, two players, and so forth. So I'm sure these numbers will bound to switch around. But no, just having a salary cap of $255 million, that's a game changer. That's almost like the one year that they all went on to strike because the CBA expired. Then they came back and they didn't have a salary cap in place. So you had the teams could basically sign who they want for the dollar amount they want. And that year the Eagles went nuts. I mean, there's a lot of teams who went crazy spending, but the Eagles were dubbed the Dream Team, according to Mr. Vince Young, which turned into be the Nightmare Team. Bill, I'm sure you remember that quite well. But yeah, I mean, should be interesting. There's a lot of teams who are higher in the draft this year than they normally are. Exactly, I remember that. Yes, it was some dark days in Philly. But let's see. Since we're talking about the football real quick, I'm gonna pull up a draft order. As of today, there we go. Draft order as of today. No, that's not right. That's not right. Nope, that's not right. Where I think at? All right, there we go. Round 1. So first overall pick. Alan will be happy about this. The first overall pick goes for his Chicago Bears. Now, if they keep it or not, that is the option that's on the table. They acquired the first overall pick last year from the Carolina Panthers, which, oddly enough, turned out to be the worst team in football this past year. So, I mean, kudos to the Bears for pulling that trade off last year. It actually helped them land the number 1 overall pick this year. They're saying they need an interior offensive lineman, wide receiver, tight end, cornerback. So good. I like that they don't have quarterback top of the list because there's been a lot of reports around that they're shopping Justin Fields, which, if you ask me, is very, very dumb. Number 2 overall pick, you have the Washington Commanders, saying they need quarterback, edge, wide receiver, interior offensive line, and linebacker. I request quarterback off because I think Sam Howell can develop into a pretty solid quarterback with them. But then again, you have a new coach, so a new coach always wants his own quarterback. So, sorry, Sam. Edge rusher, definitely, because you traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young both in the same season last year. Wide receiver, that's hit or miss. So, yeah, I could see some of that. Cleveland native Jason and Travis Kelce honored courtside and gifted Cavaliers gear on the bobblehead night. There you go. So you have a Jason and Travis Kelce bobblehead night out in Cleveland. I see if I can find a picture of that. That's actually pretty cool. I would like to see a bobblehead of the Kelce brothers. So that is pretty cool. Third overall pick, you have the New England Patriots, which, sorry, Shannon, I don't know if you're still listening or not, but the Patriots have a lot of work to do. I mean, the first time in many, many years that Bill Belichick isn't the head coach this year, so you're going to have a pretty big, substantial turnaround, I think, in that organization. So they have a first-year head coach in Jared Mayo, who has been on the coaching staff since he retired. So hopefully it's not too much of a fall off, but it's definitely going to be interesting times in New England, I will say that. Fourth, you have the Arizona Cardinals. Second-year coach Jonathan Gannon still up there. So we'll see what happens with that. Fifth is the LA Chargers, who recently just hired Jim Harbaugh as their head coach. They pried him away from the grips of the Michigan Wolverines after winning the national championship in college football to professional football, and they gave him a pretty wealthy contract. I will say that. I think they gave him, if I'm not mistaken, about $17 million a season to be their head coach, which nowadays is absurd for a coach. But hey, you want to win, you gotta pay the price. Number 6 is the New York Giants, who just announced today they will not be tagging Saquon Barkley with the franchise tag, so he is now a free agent. So running back becomes a need for the Giants. I mean, I'm sure my friends over at the Richie Hicks Sports podcast have been talking about that, because a couple of those guys are Giants fans, among other things. I think they have 2 Giants fans, a Dallas fan. I think the one guy kind of sort of follows Washington, so that'll be a quite interesting draft for the Giants. 7th, you have the Titans. Again, brand new coach. So, I mean, built Brian Callahan to be their new coach. There you go. So, see if that helps or hurts Will Levis. 8th, you have the Falcons, who have been in supposedly the Justin Fields talks about acquiring him. So, we'll see what happens with that. The 9th goes to Chicago Bears again, because again, they traded with the Panthers last year. 10th is the Jets, which a lot of these teams, they're saying all quarterback needs. So, I mean, you might have a running quarterback. And if you ask me, the college level this year is not really that deep at the quarterback position. 11th, you have the Vikings. 12th is the Broncos. 13th is the Raiders. 14th, you have the Saints. 15 Colts. 16 Seahawks. 17th Jacksonville. 18 Cincinnati. So now you're starting to get towards the playoff teams a little bit. 19th the Rams. The 20th Pittsburgh, which I could think might be a suitable fit, maybe for a potential Russell Wilson signing, because they have made it known Kenny Pickett will not be back in Pittsburgh next year. 21, the Miami Dolphins. And there we have it. Number 22, your Philadelphia Eagles. So, Bill, they picked number 22 this year. And they're saying we need running back, wide receiver, cornerback, linebacker, and edge. I agree with, I'd say, 2 of those. Linebacker for sure. And I wouldn't say so much cornerback, but more of a safety. I mean, we definitely need to shore up the back part of our defense, hands down. But we'll see what they did. I know they did meet with Jeremiah Trotter Jr. at the Combine. They said they had a very good interview with him. So who knows? We might have Axeman Jr. in Philly. I wouldn't be disappointed. Number 23, you have the Houston Texans. 24, Dallas Cowboys, which I'm sure Sam will have his take when he joins us in a little bit. 25, you have the Green Bay, who might have hit a home run. So, see what Bill says. I think we need more defensive help, so secondary and linebackers are more of the needs. I completely agree. I completely and 100% agree. Our linebackers were toast last year, and unfortunately, our safeties were subpar, as you see by them letting go of Kevin Byard. I mean, that trade just blew up in our face, if you ask me. But yeah, so I mean, I hope they did their homework at the Combine, and like my man Giovanni said, I don't know if anyone follows the Giovanni podcast. He's a cool kid. He's from Indianapolis. He used to live in the Philadelphia area, but he just I tweeted out to Harry Roseman, for the love of God, get some linebackers, and Gio couldn't be more right. So shout out to the Giovanni show with Giovanni. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. The kid is electric. I mean, definitely an inspiration when it comes to podcasting. And he's had some pretty big name guests on the show as well. So check him out. The Giovanni show with Giovanni. Pretty cool. Did you hear Gardner Johnson? They were saying might sign back with the. See, I did hear that, Bill, and I'm kind of skeptical about it. I mean, the fact that you're going to go and badmouth the fan base, saying that the fans are a bunch of like drunken idiots and stuff like that, and then the very next offseason you want to talk about bringing them back. I don't know if that's an idiotic move or a desperate move, you can say. I mean, it's hit or miss. Yeah, best way to put it, Bill. I'm on the fence. So, I mean, if they do bring him back, I don't give him the Brinks truck. I mean, it has to be somewhat of a team-friendly deal. I'm not saying another 1-year deal. Maybe you could do a 2-3-year deal. But I'm not going to give this guy like $15, $17 million a year. No. So, Mr. Gary, welcome back, sir. Hope you had a good Tuesday. But if you're still on Facebook, make sure you drop a like and a share on the show. Show me some support. Always greatly appreciate it. And it's a free way to support. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone to come check out the Basement Show with Mr. Knast. All right, going back to our draft order real quick. Let's finish this first round. So after the Packers at 25, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 26. 27, you have the Arizona Cardinals via a trade from the Houston Texans, which happened last year. All right, number 28, the Buffalo Bills. That's going to be an interesting one. Detroit Lions at 29. The Baltimore Ravens, Grimm's other team, at 30. San Francisco Crybabies, as I call them. Sorry, guy, if you're listening. And then number 32, everybody knows the Kansas City Chiefs. Gary wants to know, what game are we going to? So those in chat who don't know, me and Gary travel to away games a lot. We have been to 5 now, Gary? Because you skipped the Washington game. So far we've done. What was the first one we did? Hold on, Indianapolis back in 2014, which was a Monday night game. The Eagles pulled out thanks to Mr. Cody Parkey. That was a lot of fun. A couple years after that, we skipped a couple years. We traveled down to Charlotte for Thursday night football with the Eagles and Panthers. Again, another Eagles dub. That one was a really good game. That's back when we had what the hell was his name? It was old Douglas with 2 interceptions of Cam Newton that night. With the flat building in Indianapolis. There you go. Yep. So you have Indy, Charlotte. Then the following year, after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, we traveled down to Central Florida and did Tampa Bay. They lost that game 27-20. My God, was it a hot day? Gary will be one to tell you that. Then the following year, me, Gary, and we added a third. Our buddy, Mr. Tim Breifogel, drove up to Eastern New York, did the Buffalo Bills game. The guys got to see Niagara Falls, which was really cool. I mean, they wanted to have made it a miss. I said I was going to set that one out, but they got to do that. Then the year after that, right, was it during COVID? I can't remember. But we did MetLife. We got to go up and see Eagles Jets when Gardner Minshew played the one game that year for Jalen Hurts, which was a lot of fun. Eagles won that one pretty easily. I think it was like 33-16 or something. And then Gary skipped the last one me and Timmy did, but me and Timmy did a bus trip with the fans of Philly. Great group of guys. We went down and saw the Eagles Commanders for Carson Wentz lunch day. Eagles won that game 24-8, and they sacked Carson Wentz a record 9 times. 9. So, I mean, we've been to our fair share of away games. And I was also supposed to do. We were supposed to do the Cleveland Browns the one year. I had a ticket lined up for us. My uncle had won a bet with his boss out in Cleveland. And then the following year, I was supposed to go out to Denver. Those who know, she pops in once in a while. Kelsey Smith is my cousin. She lives out in the mountain country. Told me if I book a flight, she'll buy my ticket. But unfortunately, with COVID, I was unable to travel, which sucks. So this year, Gary, what game are we going to? That's a good question, my friend. We have looked at I guess I have to look at the schedule because I know the one game's in Brazil. That would be against apparently the Cleveland Browns. So we'll have to cross that one off as a home. Well, that's actually technically a home game anyway. But Baltimore is on the schedule this year, so we could easily just do a day trip down to Baltimore, like we had talked about. Just Baltimore's only about a 2-hour drive. Cincinnati is a possibility. I mean, they play back in Tampa. I don't know about you, but I'll stay out of the heat. No, thank you. We always just go up to MetLife, see the Giants game. Or when Mr. Simmons pops on in a couple of seconds, we can talk to him about going and crashing Dallas, Texas. There we go. I like that idea. We can go party in Dallas. Even though I heard it's really scary down in Dallas with the Eagles fans. I've heard stories. But let's see. Away this year, you have Dallas, New York, Washington, Tampa Bay, the LA Rams. There you go, Gail. We could go to Hollywood. Hollywood! Sorry. Getting excited. What's the really comment for you? What'd I do? The Rams, like I said, the Ravens, Cincinnati, and the last one on the away list, if you want to go have a party in the French Quarter, as they call it, Eagles playing New Orleans this year. Yeah, Sheldon, Dallas. I mean, we had talked about Sheldon going with us when we did Dallas, so I would have to pull out the phone book and see what he has to say. So yeah, so we got a couple possibilities, Gary. But I'm trying to say I gotta also start pricing out my big trip for next summer, which I'm not gonna go too much into detail now, but Mr. Ness has a big trip planned, hopefully for June of 2025. That would be pretty epic if I can pull it off. So we shall see what happens with that. But yeah, just recapping, start thinking about it. Dallas, we would call that a 4-bag trip. New York and Washington are day trips. Tampa Bay again, we did, which we've already done. The LA Rams, like I said, we could go to Hollywood. Baltimore, another day trip. Cincinnati, or New Orleans. So that is your away games for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. So something to talk about, Gary. I think the schedule will be out probably middle of May. So we can definitely sit down like we always do and talk about it, sir. So that is always quite the agenda. But I'm curious to see how it plays out. But those who don't know, yes, the Eagles will open their season. They've already announced that the Friday after Labor Day. So the league a couple years back started it that the Super Bowl champions would open the season on Thursday Night Football, as everybody knows. The Eagles did it back in 2018 when they hosted the Atlanta Falcons on that Thursday night. Well, this year, for some forsaken reason, the NFL is making Philly open the season on a Friday in Brazil, which we had talked to our friend Ewok a couple weeks ago about. And I'm up in arms about it. I really don't understand it. I know, I get it. The NFL is trying to go make it more of a global game. But do you really have to have a team travel at like Labor Day, like the first week of the season, all the way down to Brazil? That doesn't make sense. I don't know, Bill, if you're still here, Gary, anyone else, like, what's everyone's thoughts? Like, what do you feel about having an international game that early in the season? Not Alan's still here. So I mean, yeah, I'm just kind of baffled by it. I get what they're trying to do, I really do, but in the same sense, I don't. So let me just. Mr. Simmons said he will be getting on momentarily, so we can all welcome Mr. Simmons with open arms when he shows up. Let's see. Send that message out. You know, okay, Bill says he doesn't like the international games. I mean, I do and I don't. I get it. You're trying to globalize the sport. I get it. I really do. But like, are they necessary? You already have fan bases all around the country. I get it. You have a big Chiefs spawn in, like, I think it was Munich, Germany, or the Jacksonville Jaguars have been talked about moving over to London many times, and just making London a permanent home since they're not making the money they would in like a Jacksonville, Florida. But like, why? Like, I mean, back in the day, like it seemed like it was cool. Like you had one game overseas a year, and now they're trying to make it a different way every single week. Seems to be played in a different country, stadium, like something like that. I think this year alone, there's like 4 or 5 international games. So yeah, and that's what it is, Bill. It's more about making that money, and they make a shitload with these international games. There's no denying that. I mean, I feel sorry for the player who's going to take. I mean, but that's why you draft people at a young age, Gary. I mean, that's why you bring people in like a year or two in advance so they can learn from that said person. So the one that's probably going to take over for Jason Kelsey is going to be most likely Cam Jurgens, who's been on the team now 2 years, who Jason Kelsey actually handpicked himself to replace him when said day came that he retired. So it would definitely be interesting to say the least. Football didn't really do good a few years ago when they had the European League or whatever they call it. Yeah, NFL Europe. Bill, it's funny. Yeah, NFL Europe. That was the league that it was called. Yes, it was NFL Europe, but in a sense, there was really no one from the actual NFL league who played in NFL Europe. I think that league only lasted a couple of years. I'm actually looking it up now for you, Bill. NFL Europe League. Let's see, NFL Europe. It was founded in 1989, and it went all the way to, well, the first season was in 1991 and ended in 2007. So you had Germany, Canada for a couple years, Germany for a vast majority, 95 to 2007, the Netherlands, Spain was involved, the United Kingdom. So yeah, I mean, the last champion, the Hamburg Sea Devils. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. There you go. Here's your present share screen. There you go. That was the old Hamburg Sea Devils logo. Pretty cheesy, if you ask me. But for a while, I mean, Bill, I don't know how much you play video games or not. My buddy Sam would contest for you that for a while you could actually play as an NFL Europe team on the Madden games. So I mean, yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you still have the Canadian Football League to this day. I know one of our fans, Curtis, is a Canadian, and he says that they still have up there. So, oh, there you go. Bill plays Madden games too. I mean, I used to go to the midnight release games and get them all the time. So, I mean, I think I stopped doing midnight releases with Madden 2010, if I'm not mistaken. Cavs complete 22-point comeback to snap Celtics 11-game win streak. Hey, I'll take that. So you have a comeback for the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight versus the Boston Celtics. Let's go Cavs. Block Boston. Sorry. Inappropriate. My bad. Showing my fandom, but no, I mean, if I ever get my friend Vinny to join us for a night, I will tell you, like, the crap we used to do with Madden releases were actually kind of funny. And otherwise, it was a holiday. And we, like, the one year we kicked my friend's parents out of their house for the night, took over the whole entire house, played to, like, the ass crack of dawn, all tired. Long night, but we had a lot of fun. Then the following year, I think that was Madden 2007. Boston's only good for beans. Okay. Well, you know what they always say, so beans, good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you shit. The more you shit, the more you use. So, I mean, yeah. Do you think the Sixers will stay at least 6th or better in the playoffs, or will they fall into the play-in tournament? Good question, Bill. Well, yeah, I think personally they can stay above the 6th seed. You hope and pray. I mean, damn it, they lost tonight 112 to 107. Speaking of the Sixers, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets in town tonight. I know Maxey didn't play, so let's pull up the. So let's see. We spin this back this way. Let's see. But losing tonight really sucks. So, oh, I'm at my hour mark. All right. Well, while we're waiting for Mr. Simmons to join, I am going to run a brief commercial in support of Holland's Customs. Maxie is in concussion protocol. Yes, I remember that. So while we're waiting for my good friend Mr. Simmons to join us, how about we sit back and take a a quick break in honor of Holland's Customs, so you can kind of get an idea what Holland's Customs is all about. It. I signed up for the ad-free version. Hey, gotta do what I gotta do. I mean, Alan and Miss Grimm and Mrs. Grimm have been working their ass off on this, so us here at the Basement Show, we showed them the love and support. So, real quick, I will be back in a couple minutes, but please don't go anywhere. And here is a preview what you can expect with Holland's Customs. Well, there you have it. That is Holland's Customs, ladies and gentlemen. You can find it at hollandscustoms.com, and it is now the official home of Basement Show with Mr. Knast merchandise. So please go over and support Mr. and Mrs. Grimm on all their hard work. And joining us for the second hour of the show, my good buddy, Mr. Sam Simmons, ladies and gentlemen.
How's it going, John?
All right, going good. So you just saw a commercial we started running. We have official Basement Show merch now for sale.
Nice.
And Mr. Grimm popped in earlier and let us know if you were doing a bracket tournament this year with us. The winner of the bracketology will win a free t-shirt. So,
ooh, nice. I gotta get my brackets ready then.
Well, Selection Sunday is not till St. Patrick's Day, so you got time.
Yeah, I know. So got, 2 weeks?
Yeah, and there's Mr. Grimm saying hello to you in chat real quick. He's saying hello, Mr. Sam. That is not me typing that.
There you go. There we go. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
So yeah, we were just talking about. We started talking about little Sixers. My good friend Mr. Beebe, who hangs out with us a lot and shows now. Do the Sixers stay at least the six or better for the playoffs, or do they fall into the play-in tournament? And as he was asking that, I found out the Sixers lost tonight. So
How far out are we from? I mean, we still got a ways.
oh, yeah,
We still got a bit for a bit of a way with the NBA, and for the NBA to really call too much right now. I mean, there are a few teams that unfortunately are definitely not going to make it this year.
yeah,
Um, so
that's safe to say.
sadly, my team being one of them. But that's nothing new for me.
Well, look at the bright side though. At least you guys have double-digit wins, unlike the Washington Wizards and Detroit Pistons.
Are they in single digits?
Washington and Detroit are both 9-52.
Ooh, okay, yeah. At least we're not doing that bad.
I mean, you're
So
13-48, but
yeah. Trying to get all my stuff out here. Here we go. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you
I mean,
have
we're
a
still
possibility of catching
the
Portland.
thing is, I hate seeing that San Antonio went from being top 4 in the West one year to being bottom of the barrel the next. I mean, we're literally what 3 games, 4.5 games behind next to last place. We're 13-48. So,
It's called a rebuild. That's what all happens
oh
in all
yeah.
professional sports.
See, and every Spurs fan, every true Spurs fan, um, we were prepared for this. We knew, we were fully aware that that after Duncan, Manu, and Tony left, we were going to be done. Now we were hoping that Kawhi might stick around and be the new face, but then he up and left. He's now the most hated man in San Antonio. Um,
Oh,
oh no, they've done polls. He is the one of the most hated athletes in San Antonio right now. Um, and I mean that's he's above Charles Barkley.
now that's bad.
Yeah, yeah. Because Charles Barkley's the guy who said that all San Antonio women are fat or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he made some stupid comment like that about the women of San Antonio, and people just went off on him. So for a
Dang.
while, he was the most hated guy. But now I think with Wemby, he is with the numbers that Wemby has put up. He's already set record-breaking numbers for a rookie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well,
He's
when you're 7 something, I'm not exactly. I forget what 7-4.
yeah,
I mean, you
seven
better
seven
be putting
three
out some
seven
type of
four.
numbers.
Um, but I mean, the man is putting up numbers that are just outrageous.
Yeah,
I
21
mean,
points a game.
he's averaging 20.9 points per game. He's shooting 47%. Averaging 3.4 blocks a game,
Yeah,
and that's all with 28 minutes. He's averaging 28.29 minutes a game,
yeah, pretty impressive.
and I mean the man is, let's see, 1 point. He can steal the ball.
Yep.
He's averaging the most steals on the team. He's averaging the fourth most assist on the team. Most blocks on the team by far. But I mean, when you're 7'4", and you don't have to jump to block. Um, Now the other big thing, he does have the highest turnover rate.
Well,
So
I'm looking at your roster right here. Besides Trey Jones, I don't really recognize anyone on this team.
Jeremy Sochin, one of our forwards, he's a young talent. He's got some potential. If they can get get him going. Devin Vassell is another one who is, I think, could be a good talent. We just need better defense.
Yeah, you would be
We have,
surprised that they don't have it, but Greg Popovich still being your head coach.
see, I am still under the impression, and this is genuinely how I think this is going to play out. We're going to see Popovich retire, and maybe after next season or the season after next. So he's got one more, maybe two more full seasons. By that time, their next coach, or who I want to see as their next coach, will have a good almost half decade of experience
Yeah.
as a head coach. And for those of you who haven't heard me say this, I know I've talked to John about this before. That's Becky Hammond.
Oh, Becky Hammond's not going anywhere. She'd be a fool to leave that organization.
Well, no. This is my thought process. I agree, Bill. I really do. I think Pop is past his time. He had his golden age. He did great. San Antonio will always love him. He will always be welcome in San Antonio. But it's time to move on. Just like every good coach, all good things have to come to an end.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
what I think is going to happen is Becky Hammond. They let Becky Hammond go to Las Vegas specifically so that she could get the experience of being number one, the experience of being a head coach. She's been in Las Vegas for 2 years and already has 2 championships.
Wow.
And so
when you learn from Greg Popovich, I mean,
exactly. And she's already she's already had experience in coaching in the NBA because she was assistant coach. She was I think she was Popovich's number 2 for a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so she has experience in the NBA and been successful at it. So I think the San Antonio Spurs let the Las Vegas Aces go, which, by the way, or let Becky Hammond go to the Las Vegas Aces, which, by the way, is her former team.
Yeah.
Because the Las Vegas Aces used to be the San Antonio Silver Stars before San Antonio let them go and go to Vegas. But they're letting her get that experience, and as soon as Popovich is ready to retire, first phone call they're making, going, "Hey, Becky, you ready? We're calling you back up."
Well, Bill saying he agrees with you that he should have been replaced years ago, though. But just looking at this lineup, like the average age of your starting 5 is like 22.
Yeah, we have a very young team. A very young team. Even outside of our starting 5.
I've never heard of Blake Wesley. Let's see what he is. He's 20.
Yeah.
Elgin Johnson, 24.
I mean, you have Victor Wembanyama. You have Wemby, who's 19, just turned 20, I think. He's if you looked at what he was doing in France before he came over here, I think that they got a steal getting that number 1 pick.
Oh, absolutely.
And if they can keep Wemby in San Antonio and build around him, San Antonio is going to have some success here in the future. It might take another year or 2, maybe 3, depending on draft picks. But we have a lot of first-round draft picks in the upcoming years.
Use them.
And so, which is going to be great for either A, trading up, or B, for trading for a veteran or 2 to come in and help with that build-up. And help these young players get that experience.
Yeah, because right now your oldest player is Devontae Graham, and he's only 29 years old. That's not saying how young your team is when your youngest player isn't even in his 30s.
Yeah, and he's been in the league for 5 years? 2018, round 2.
So yeah, I mean, then you have C.D. Osman, who's 28. So those two must feel like dinosaurs on a team like this.
When you have a team whose average age of their starting five is what? What did you say? 22?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, but you really want to put a dinosaur? Just get LeBron over there.
Now, would you want a veteran like LeBron on a team like this?
LeBron? No, not LeBron. LeBron comes with too much drama.
Very true.
It's the same reason why we see a lot of players who don't end up players who could have great careers have their careers fall flat, and that is drama.
True.
I mean, I think up and coming, you know, some of these college players, both in any sport. Now that we have these nil deals, um, a lot of them. There's been a handful of them, and I know basketball and football that have said flat out, yeah, I'm going to spend that fourth year in college, not because I don't want to move to the next level, but because I can make more money staying in college than I can with a rookie contract in the NBA or an NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
And
Caleb Williams was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
He says, why should I go to a bad situation when I can go back for my senior year and make like $8 million?
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing with Caleb Williams is he's going to ruin his own career. And if he keeps going the way he's going, he's not going to have a career at all. Because I think I saw a great comparison the other day. He's the LaMelo. He's the Ball family of the NFL.
That's asking for trouble already.
It is. But his dad is flat out telling people, yeah, if you want him, you're going to have to give him ownership shares.
You're telling me you're gonna give a 20-year-old kid ownership stake? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Tom Brady didn't even have that with the Patriots for as long as he played.
And he played there for what, 15, 16 years? 17 years?
Yeah, give or take.
No.
That's just asinine.
Yeah, 17, 18 years. And so Duncan played for the Spurs for 20. Nowitzki played for Dallas for 21. I mean, and they didn't have ownership shares in the team. Like, why are you going as you haven't even proven yourself in the NFL? You've barely proven yourself in the NCAA.
Yeah, he can thank one person for his success.
Lincoln
Riley.
Yeah. And so, when it comes to guys like that, that's not who I want on my team. All you're going to cause is drama.
Yeah.
And drama doesn't win championships.
Yeah, well, that and he has another thing going bad for him, too. He's a USC quarterback.
Yeah, that too. I mean, USC, since Lincoln Riley took over, and it's still going to take another year or two for them to really show. But being over there on the West Coast, and I think we're going to see the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever it is. Yeah. It's gone now.
Oh, absolutely. It actually falls apart next year because USC, UCLA, and Oregon all moving to the Big Ten. Penn State plays all three teams next year.
Yeah. And then we had BYU. Trying to think. We had
college football conferences are a mess next year.
Trying to pull it up here. There we go. Because this past year we had Cincinnati, BYU, Houston, UCF, all move into the Big 12.
Yep.
And we'll have UT and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 next year. The two teams that keep that conference afloat, to be honest. Yep. I mean, you do still have OSU. They can be good. TCU had a 1 year, a fluke year. We can all admit to that one. But I mean, really, other than that, there really are no other good teams. Baylor's had a few good years.
But
Kansas
let me ask
is
you this: since we're talking about conference realignments, okay? The first one I'm looking at, ACC. How
Mhm.
are you going to tell me that Cal, Stanford, and SMU all qualify for the ACC?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't ACC stand for Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, Atlantic Coast Conference, yes.
Um,
The last time I checked, Stanford and Cal were on the Pacific Coast. And SMU, that's in Texas, ain't it?
I believe so.
I think that's a college based out of Houston, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
the Atlantic. Okay, yeah, I was right. Let's see, SMU. Southern
Yeah, I noticed the
Massachusetts.
SMU Mustangs.
Yeah. They are based out of. Yeah.
Should
Let's
say right on the
see.
page.
Let's see here. If the computer wants to, work with me here.
I got you. There you go, SMU. Yeah, University Park, Texas. So they're a Texas-based school. So you got Smackdown middle of the country, and you're gonna put them in the ACC now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes as much sense as the NFL putting the Dallas Cowboys, in the NFC East. I mean,
That is true.
I mean, when it
You do
comes
have
to
a point.
Oh, I'm sorry. When it comes to conference alignments, I think the only sport that really does it right is
MLB.
is baseball.
Okay, so fair
But
enough.
even baseball's weird because you have Oakland, Seattle, Texas, and Houston, and then who's the Angels. Like two of those, you have three up here and then two down here.
Yeah.
But
Well, the Pac-12 has two teams left: Oregon State and Washington State. So it's
yeah,
called the Pac-2 now.
yeah. Well, I wonder who's going to win that championship. And
SEC
does it
now has
really matter?
16
Because
teams.
here's what I'm wondering. How is this conference realignment going to affect the CFP?
Oh, it's going to affect it tremendously. Well, in general, the whole college playoff system is going to be weird anyway because you're now moving it from 4 teams to what, 8 or 12?
I think they're starting with um I think they're starting with 8 um and then they're going to move to 12. I might be wrong with that.
Starting in the 2024-25 season, the college football a 12-team format. So going up to 12 this year.
Okay. Okay, so the CFP board, yeah, approves a 12-team playoff that will begin in the 24-25 season. So that's this year. This upcoming season, next season. Featuring the 6 highest ranked conference champions and the next 6 highest ranked teams. Okay, so they're going to look at every single conference.
Okay.
By the sounds of it, they're going to look at every conference and their champions. And then
Well, looking at this diagraphic, you're going to have 12 teams. The top 4 seeds are going to have buys. So 5 will play 12, 6 plays 11, 7 plays 10, 8 versus 9.
yeah.
And then the 4 winners of that would probably be broken down in a round robin style. Like 1 plays the lowest seed remaining 2, so forth. And Bill's saying none of the sports have correct alignments. I mean, Sam's right though. The MLB is pretty close when it comes to it, though.
Hockey's not too bad. Not as bad as some of the other sports, but still not perfect.
No, NFL is just the wackiest.
Um,
Like you said, the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East still.
Well, and I still haven't figured out, because you have, and baseball does it too. At least with the NBA, it's East and West.
Yeah.
But with baseball and football, you have the AFC and the NFC. And then with baseball, you have the AL and the NL. Like, how do you know which one you go to? Like, why is one team in the AL and one team in the NL? It just sometimes it makes no sense.
Yeah. Just like your Houston Astros, probably the only team in the last 20 years to win the World Series for both the National League and American League. If you really think about it.
But they didn't win it in the National League.
So they did.
No, they went to it back in 04, 05,
I think it was 05.
and they got swept by the
Is that the
White
year
Sox.
I was gonna say is that the year the Red Sox won back to back? Because the first year that the Red Sox won, they beat the Cardinals.
Um,
I always thought Houston won in the National League. I don't know. Maybe I'm starting to show my age.
World Series.
We have senior moments here in the
Um,
basement show, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon my age.
no, I don't want. Okay, see that. There we go.
Chris for the Astros won it in the National League too. Because they had like Berkman
No, I
back in.
know because their first World Series wasn't until that their first World Series win was not until the 2017 World Series.
No, okay. I guess I'm wrong.
That was their
Huh?
first World Series, and they've won 3. 17, 20, and 23.
Fair enough.
So,
Yeah, Mr. Nash, you
uh,
had dementia. Thanks. Thanks to Grimmy saying I had dementia. Never been diagnosed. Can't prove it.
hey, if you're not diagnosed, it's not true, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's just my buddy Grim being a pain in the butt.
Hey, if they're not giving you a hard time, are they really your friends?
That is true. I always forget I have it. There you go. Mhm. Happens to the best of us, so don't worry about it. So yeah, that would have been an interesting playoff last year if you had it. So if you had it starting this past season, you would have Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama at all 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they would have buys. So then you would have Oklahoma versus Florida State, Old Miss versus Georgia, Penn State versus Ohio State, which would have been freaking electric.
That
Then
would have been
Missouri
great.
versus Oregon. So yeah, you would have had a pretty good playoff this year if you did it.
Oh yeah,
Dang.
like so the top 4 would have had, like you said, top 4 have buys. So go to 12. Let's see.
12 would have had Florida State, which would have
Or
been
is it top
Oklahoma,
5
Florida
have buys
State.
or top 4 have buys?
Top 4.
Top 4. So what I'm looking at, I'm looking at AP. We don't want AP. FCS. There we go. Nope, that's FCS. No, wait, what?
No, you want the BCS.
Yeah. Why won't it's not? Wow, it's not giving me it. Oh, here we go. Final week. College football. Okay, so top 4: Michigan, Washington, Texas, Alabama. So Florida State would have had 12, which was Oklahoma. So putting
Yep.
Oklahoma back in the playoffs,
Yep.
where they lose their first game. Sorry. Actually,
Yeah.
no. Actually, no. I still say Oklahoma would have beat Florida State.
That's possible. I
Every
mean, they did if they asked it.
well, see,
Mhm.
and here's the thing: if Florida State, when they did not make it into that top 4, a lot of people said that they should have been in over Alabama, but I highly disagree. I think that the CFP got it right with the 4 that they chose.
Yeah.
But Florida State, the big thing was we deserve to be in. We deserve to be in. If you feel like you deserve to be in, then you need to come out in that bowl game and you need to prove it. And the sole reason why the CFP chose not to put them in is because of their quarterback situation.
Yeah, and it showed versus Georgia because they got their asses kicked.
And look at what Georgia did to them
Yep.
without even trying.
Yeah, exactly.
And this comes from a team that said, "Oh, we deserve." No, you don't. Obviously, you don't, because I think it was last year the TCU Georgia championship game
National
was one of the
championship? Oh, yeah.
least watched, because by halftime, heck, by the end of the halfway through the second quarter, the game was over.
Yep.
And everybody knew it. And so we quit watching, because who wants to watch that? And so they're not going to let that happen again.
No, especially on a bigger
Um,
stage when you're
so
investing all these millions of dollars towards it.
exactly. So I still think that with that quarterback situation from Florida State, Oklahoma wins. Georgia rolls over Ole Miss easily.
Okay.
Ohio and Penn State, that's a toss up.
Oh,
That
absolutely. But
that's a
knowing
toss.
James Franklin,
Anyone
he can't win the big games. Ohio State beat him in the season, so I would give the edge to Ohio State.
you could probably try to guess that game 99 or 100 times and get it wrong 99 times.
Yeah, more than likely.
You know. And then Oregon, Missouri, I think Oregon wins that one.
Oh, Bo Nix, absolutely.
Yeah. But see, then we have to then we have to look at it. Do we go standard bracket where it's okay, this you move from here to here to here, or do we go NFL bracket style where the top seed always plays the lowest remaining seed?
Well, I think that's what you have to do, honestly.
So in that case, you'd get Michigan playing Oklahoma.
Yep.
Washington would play,
Probably the winner of Penn State and Ohio State.
yeah, probably that one, because Florida State would win that. So Alabama would play Florida State, the highest remaining seed.
No,
Texas,
Alabama would play Georgia.
oh yeah, Alabama, Georgia. Texas would have played Oregon
Yep.
or Ohio State, depending on who wins that game.
Yes.
And so, I mean, you look at this and it's like, okay, who does win this game? We could see a completely different championship than what we saw with the 12 team playoff.
Oh yeah.
And
That's what's gonna make it more entertaining to watch because you're now gonna have to see the moving pieces on who lines up where and stuff like that.
oh yeah, I mean, this year the number one team won the championship. Now we actually got I thought this was one of the better championships than we've had in a while. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
last year's was just a rout. Nobody wanted to win that. Other than that, it's okay. Who's Bama gonna beat this year?
Yeah.
But I will say that Michigan Alabama game,
That was electric.
that was a game.
Yeah, that was the
And
Rose Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Hmm.
that and then the Texas Washington game, 12 yards decided that game.
Yep.
12 yards. If Texas could have moved that ball 12 more yards to get that touchdown, we would have had a Texas Michigan game. And the last time they played in a postseason game was the 04 Rose Bowl, where Texas beat them.
Wow.
That was the year before they played USC for the national championship, and Vince Young went off the rails
Well,
and
that,
showed
that
the Heisman selection committee why he should have had the Heisman.
yeah. Well, he's also going against Matt Leinart in USC that year too.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he was going against Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush,
Yep.
both of who, neither of whom really had great NFL careers, but neither did Vince Young. But Vince Young dealt with some injuries.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
did
sure
Matt
what.
Leinart.
Yeah, and Reggie Bush,
Just undersized.
yeah. I mean, I saw it earlier. It was comparing offensive lineman sizes, decade by decade. What would you take? What's your guess as to the average size of an offensive lineman in the 1920s?
1920. So okay,
1920s.
let's see. If anyone else
Anybody
is,
want to take a guess? Take a
yeah,
guess. Anybody.
anyone in chat, feel free to jump in this conversation at any
This
point.
is gonna shock you.
1920, I'd say probably about five, like 5'9", 5'10", maybe 260.
The average size of an offensive lineman in 1920
5'9",
was
210. Ball says.
6'1"
Okay.
and about 215 pounds.
Wow. Slender
Cam Newton is bigger than that.
man.
Cam
Huh?
Newton is bigger than that.
Yeah.
Most of the NFL quarterbacks today are bigger than that. So just think about that. Our quarterbacks are now bigger than the linemen used to be
I was close with the weight. Yeah, Bill,
in
you
the
were pretty close.
1920s. Now let's fast forward to 2011 when this ended, when they actually did this. What do you think the average size of a lineman in 2011 was?
2011.
2011.
All right, so now you're probably looking at 6'5", probably 285.
6'3" and 310 pounds.
Jesus Christ. God, Bill,
So
that's a lot of beef.
so the size difference between 1920 and 2011
Bill
is
said
just
6'3", 305.
insane. Bill, you got real close with that second guess. You got real close. But it was talking about like how, because the reason this came up was because somebody was just tired of hearing all these old football players say that, oh, our quarterbacks are too soft now and this, that, and the other. It's like, dude, you realize that our quarterbacks now are the size of your offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And
So
so
if you're going back in the day, okay, and the average lineman was 6'1", 185, what the hell were the quarterbacks?
yeah, I know. So
It makes you wonder.
they were
Because a
tiny.
6'1", 185 nowadays is a wide receiver.
Well, if you've seen George Clooney's movie The Leatherheads,
Oh, now you're going way back. Bill said,
you
"Oh,
know
you're
that
off by 5 pounds."
that's
Yeah, Bill, you're close.
that's the start of that's towards the beginning of the NFL. I mean, you look how tiny those guys were. I mean, so you
Stop.
talk about being soft, but it's not. I mean, when you have somebody who's 6'4" and 313 pounds coming at you at full speed, uh, yeah, you're gonna want to get out of the way. That's a bulldozer coming at you. I
There you go.
mean,
Let me just bigger real quick. Hold on. There you go. I'll put this in the show real quick. Hold on. Just look at this team photo. Look how stocky these guys look.
yeah. Which one's the lineman? Who are the linemen here? It's
That's the crazy part.
crazy.
Like you can't tell who would play what position. They all look the same. Like the guy in the middle. I mean, he had to be someone important because he's still wearing his helmet.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I mean, the size differential and just the way that the NFL player in general has developed.
Yep.
I
So now
mean,
let me pick
um,
this out real quick.
but I want to. I'm gonna look up to see.
Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here you go.
Let's
We'll
see.
use this picture. So you go from that team photo. Now this is offensive lineman nowadays. Like look at the just seeing the difference between the two. It's mind
Oh,
blowing.
it is. It is. But I'm also thinking, it's not just size. Um, it's also speed. Um,
Well, while you're looking something up, speaking of speed, congrats to your wide receiver from Texas, Quentin Woodley. I don't know if
Xavier
you heard that
Worthy.
about the
Yeah.
heard that about the
Mhm.
combine or not, Bill. I don't know if you heard it.
Oh yeah.
Fastest 40 dash on record, 4.21.
Yeah.
Good grief!
The man can fly.
And he proved it.
The man can fly. He has a fat. People, we've been talking. You know, you talk NFL. You, Tyreek Hill. The man he can fly. Imagine having to guard uh, Xavier Worthy here, and just having him just not out muscle you, but just you blink your eye and he's gone.
Yep.
I mean, it will take is 5 yards for him to have give him 15 yards, he's going to be 10 yards ahead of you and
Yeah,
wide open. And once he has that ball, he's gone.
pretty much. Bill
I
said
mean,
I heard something about it. I didn't look into the deal. Yeah,
if
Bill
you
blazing speed.
he he's going to be a dangerous kick returner.
Oh, absolutely.
He hits that sideline and gets
Bye.
one or two blocks, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Deshaun Jackson 2.0.
Yeah.
So fastest defensive lineman was Chop Robinson from Penn State with a 4.48. Linebackers, you had 3 sub 4.4s. Peyton Wilson from NC State 4.43. Dallas Turner from Bama 4.46. In Florida State, Keelan DeLoach 4.47. Nate Wiggins from Clemson 4.28, fastest D-back. But he also hurt himself during that run as well. Tight ends, you had Davon Cup from Washington 4.47. Quarterback, the only ones that didn't have many run, but the fastest was Keldon Savas from BYU 4.5. Running backs,
I mean, and
Isaiah
it used to be a 4.5 was like
Quick.
top of the hill. Or top of the line. Like if you were running a 4.5, you were awesome. You were amazing. And now we're running 4.2s.
Yeah. Considering the fastest running back was a 4.3.
I mean,
Isaiah Corneo from Louisville.
it's
But look, here you go. Looking at
insane.
this wide receiver, Xavier Worthy, 4.21. Okay, you know who the next quickest wide receiver was?
This year?
Yeah,
No.
Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU at a 4.33. So Worthy was over a chance of a second faster.
I'm saying Nate Wiggins from Clemson had a
Yeah,
4.28.
I understand. I'm saying wide receiver though.
Oh, at wide receiver. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because he's a cornerback. He's a
Yeah,
cornerback. But
but I'm
still,
just
I mean,
saying Woodley 4.21, and the closest one to him was a 4.33.
can you imagine if a team is somehow able to nab both Xavier Worthy and Nate Wiggins, have the two fastest guys come? You ain't gonna have anybody left.
That is true. Speed wise,
I mean, okay, Kalen Barnes in Carolina. Well, I don't know if he's in Carolina anymore, but Kalen Barnes, he's let's see, where is he now?
Barnes, I think he is
has
still with Carolina.
he has played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teams in 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
In 22, he was with Carolina, Miami, and Minnesota. Then in 23, he went to Pittsburgh, New York, to the Jets, and to Cleveland, and now he's currently in Pittsburgh. But he's only ever been he's in Minnesota. That's the only time he wasn't just a practice squad.
Wow.
Wow. So okay. So yeah, his speed meant nothing apparently. Let's see. No, John Ross. He's a wide receiver.
Last
He's
play
done.
for the Giants.
Um,
He might actually just retired, I think. Alright, so Penn State had some representatives at the combine. I can date that. That really surprised me. Caitlin King who ran a 4.6. That's the Isaiah. Isaac was 7. I mean, Penn State has some decent talent coming out. I think Texas does too, though.
Now you were saying something earlier, and I wasn't able to look at that link that you sent me.
Oh, that article. Okay,
Yeah.
let's hear him. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard coming to Philly.
Considered a favorite to land record-setting running back. Okay, see, I think that might be dependent because I'm looking at this one saying that they may land Saquon Barkley.
Who? You guys or us?
Cowboys.
Well, Barkley
so
has.
If the
Barkley
Cowboys
had
land
been rumored
Saquon Barkley, then
to.
yeah.
That is another name that they were talking about for Dallas too. Because if that's the
Exactly.
case, then you might want to hold on to a certain something. King Henry has been rumored to be going to Dallas.
I heard that.
Hey, my phone says Curtis is watching. Curtis! It says Curtis Hoffenoff is watching. He might have just popped in.
Now,
Matt's still playing God.
See, with Saquon, I think he would be a good grab.
There you go. Kevin Peake. It's a Sam sighting. What's up, man? Hope all is well.
What's up, Kevin?
You're like me. You go incognito, don't you?
Oh no, they ditched me. They all went to they all left Fortnite and they all decided we're not gonna play Fortnite anymore. We're just gonna play COD.
Well, good. You can come back to the basement show. I'll keep you busy.
But oh no, this school year's been crazy. So no, but
See here, I just found another article. Eagles favored to sign Tony Pollard away from the Cowboys. And Kevin saying sorry, he's always been a COD guy.
it would be interesting. It would be really interesting to see. You're good, Kev. I know you are.
I just don't see it because the last time we did that and pulled a Dallas Cowboy running back away, it failed miserably on Philly, and that's DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
The only difference this year is now we actually have a former offensive coordinator.
But I think Tony Pollard and DeMarco Murray, two completely different guys.
Oh, absolutely.
But what worries me is with the loss of Jason Kelce on the offensive line.
Listening.
And which is, I mean, Jason Kelce's a great guy. He's hilarious. Oh, yeah. But with Jason Kelce leaving, you're gonna have to find somebody new at that center.
Well, that's position. The thing. We actually drafted someone 2 years ago because Jason Kelce actually scouted him himself and said this kid has potential to be the next me, and that's Cam Jurgens.
And we'll see how it goes. And if he's been able the last few years to learn under Jason and has been his protege, then great. And he's able to step up and take Kelce's place. That's not something you see very often.
No, my biggest concern with Jurgens has been his will to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because he did miss some time last year. So can he last a full 17-game season?
And now the NFL's apparently talking about going to an 18-game season.
Which is insane as it is.
Which is just stupid. I mean, you look at baseball, they play 162 games.
Mm-hmm.
You look at basketball, and hockey, they play 82. And then you have football, who plays, as of right now, 17.
Yes.
And you think about, well, football is the second highest paying sport next to baseball.
Yep.
And when it comes to baseball or football, you're like, well, why can't they play more games? They can play more than once a week. The thing about football that differs from those other sports is the amount of contact that you have in that game.
Oh yeah, football is a much more physical game than any other sport.
Yeah. And so you talk about playing 2-3 games a week like they do in hockey and basketball and baseball, it can't be done.
No.
Football would become a game of death.
Yeah, I mean that's what bad enough sometimes when a team has to play on a Sunday and then turn around and play on a Thursday right away. I don't think that's fair.
No, it used to be 16 game seasons. You get 2 bye weeks.
Yeah.
And they used to be able to, they would usually try to get it to where, a bye week at the beginning, a bye week at the end. And so, and that was great for some of those playoff teams because, okay, we get a week to, at the end of the season, rest a little bit before moving on.
That is true.
And so it's gonna be interesting to see, just if they do go to an 18 game season, it's gonna get messy.
Yeah. Well, next week's gonna get messy too.
Do what?
You know what next week is, right? Off the top of your head, I guess not. 30 to start of NFL free agency next Wednesday.
Ah,
The legal tampering starts next Monday.
interesting.
So by this time next week, next Tuesday, I could have a full show of just NFL free agency moves.
Oh yeah.
Which should be a lot of fun because Bill's like me. He studies the game. I know you study it.
I do to a point, not as much as some, but more than others.
I will admit I'm a bit upset stuff sometimes. I mean, you're talking to someone who used to buy a different notebook every year for the NFL offseason. I used to have a stack about probably, let me see, that high. Marked every single year. My parents thought I had no life. Okay.
I mean, every sport. I mean, I will say this. I am glad that, you tend to get these dynasties.
Yeah,
Like,
you got one in the making right now with Kansas City.
Well, like the Patriots, like the Kansas City Chiefs, like the Spurs had in the 2000s and 2010s, like the Yankees have had, like the Astros are having, these teams that you just every year you expect to see them, make it, going far into the playoffs when they're in their prime. Back in the early 90s, the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they lost all 4 Super Bowls, but for 4 years
they lost all 4, so is that considered a dynasty?
Yeah, but it got to the point where it's like, okay, who are the Buffalo Bills going to lose to this year in the Super Bowl? Like,
I mean, you still ask yourself to that this day because it can't get past it. So,
what I find funny is that all 4 of those Super Bowls were lost to NFC East teams.
That is true. All but Philly. Kevin saying there's no way you can ask NFL pros to play more than once a week. Baseball is so much different, and you can play a lot more different people and still have a good lineup. Kevin's absolutely right. And there's Mr. Curtis. What's up, Mr. Curtis?
What's up, Curtis? How are you and how's the Foffenoff family doing?
Yeah. I see the pictures
up in the northern lands.
Did you guys
of Canada.
move to the North Pole or something? Because I saw the group photos and he's putting snow photos up. So I was like, wait, what?
It certainly looks like the North Pole right now.
I thought Santa came 2 months ago. Hey, Curtis, if you're hiding Santa from me, bring him back. I need a new setup in the studio.
He forgot to bring me some of my presents.
Yep, I want a refund.
So, no, but
what are you doing?
I think the one other
He's in there doing good. Just went through that big snowstorm. I know. I mean, the Sierras got destroyed
send
too.
it this way. Send it this way. Texas will take it off your hands.
Yeah, okay. You guys can't handle an inch.
No, but it will get me out of school for a week. And then spring breaks next week. So hey,
There you go. Win-win. But
exactly.
You were saying?
No, but
He lost his train of thought that quick. Alan, I think he has dementia now too.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Checking the phone. No, for me it's not dementia. For me it's squirrel. It's not called dementia. For me it's ADHD.
ADHD, okay. All capital letters.
ADHD, all capital.
Fair enough.
And we all have our squirrel moments.
What?
Exactly. No, I think the other big sports story right now, and a lot of people don't keep track of this, so it's not made as big of a deal.
Okay.
But the Oklahoma Sooners, their softball team just had their 71 game win streak snapped.
You did say that in one message. I mean, I was saying,
Yeah.
wow, that's a pretty impressive streak.
It is the first time in over a calendar year that someone not named the Oklahoma Sooners are number one in softball.
Wow.
With that one loss, they've had 3 back-to-back-to-back championships. And I would not put them past it. They're going for that 4-peat, and they can get it. But
some college teams are just good like that.
Well, it's their pitching. They have had some terrific pitchers who can just dominate the mound. So
it sounds like they have another Jenny Finch from back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so can't wait till Friday initial trade deadline. I was wondering when that was.
And their bats, they're never ending. They never don't show up. It's insane. But they lost to the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns.
Wow, of all teams.
I mean, just I imagine being that team. So, imagine being the one team that you're expected to win every time you take the field, and then you lose to
Louisiana Lafayette.
the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. Like,
hey, that's why they always say anyone can win any given day.
Yeah, and that's what I love about
Now, what was the score? Do you know off the top of your head?
I believe it was 7-5.
Okay, so it was a competitive game.
Yeah,
not like one of those games that like 1-0. They get they have the time run on third base.
What is great is, at least for me, is the new number 1 team. The team that took the number 1 spot from Oklahoma is none other than one of their biggest rivals.
Texas?
The Texas Longhorns.
There we go. Sam's going to say hook 'em horns.
I'll throw up my horns.
But Curtis is just reminding us that the NHL trade deadline is on Friday. I agree. It's one of his favorite times of year. I love the trade deadline because you get to see who's going for the cup and all that. And football, you have the free agency. My friend Graham's asking Paul. For those who are just joining us for the first time in a while, a roll call is basically to find out who's still in chat because we're now over the 2-hour mark for the night. So Kevin says, me playing fun golf on Xbox. 4. Sorry, said that kind of loud. My new mic, I promise, is not me. But yeah, I mean,
But this is gonna be good year. I'm excited for um
I'll show
excited
you.
for the NBA playoffs. Gonna be interesting.
Yep.
I do like the introduction of the play-in tournament that they did a few years ago. The mid-season tournament, pointless. Don't know why they're doing it.
Yeah,
It-
midseason can go with the NBA playoff one. I can buy into that one.
Well, the thing is, it's a money grab, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, well, what did the Lakers get for winning it? Like $500,000 or something? $5 million?
So I don't even know. Uh, who cares?
Yeah, they got the Indiana
You know,
Pacers.
when you lose the championship, that nobody's gonna look at you and go, well, at least you won the mid-season championship. Nobody
Ooh.
cares.
What, are they going to put a banner up in the rafters for a midseason
And
tournament?
well, yeah, no. And how are the Lakers right now? Okay, yeah, they won the mid-season the mid-season tournament, but they're 34-29.
Yeah.
They're 5 games over positive. They're 9.5 games out of first place, which somehow the Minnesota Timberwolves have. I never thought
Hey,
I would say that.
but
I
look who else
never
is
thought
at
I'd
the
say the
top right
Minnesota
now.
Timberwolves.
Minnesota, Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah. To see Minnesota up in the number 1 spot, and with the second best record in the league.
Right.
I-
Hands
Where
up,
was this team when Garnett was there?
my man Kevin
But
Garnett. Okay.
I mean, let's see: Minnesota, Oklahoma, Denver, L.A., New Orleans, Phoenix, Sacramento. That's your top 6 in the West. Then you have Sacramento, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Golden State that would be playing in the play-in tournament. LA and Golden State would play against each other.
Yeah, and Golden State just got rocked over the weekend by Boston.
That I
didn't see
have
what the final score was, but I saw that at halftime it was like 82-38.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was only at
It
halftime.
was I want to say it was like 140 to 88.
That's what the final was?
That was the final. That
That's
is
50, that's
a
52 points.
point loss.
I think 3 or 4 games that the Celtics have won this year by 50 points or more.
3 games by more than 50 points, and they're one of the first teams to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for Breezy to pop in because you know how much he loves the Boston Celtics. Because the one night he was talking bad about my Eagles on his podcast, so Andrew had sent me a message, so I popped over like, "Yo, keep my podcast out of your mouth." And him, J. Cole, and D2 just all lost it on the air. It's kind of funny, but that's the fun we have here with the podcasting gigs. Like we support each other. I pop in a lot of my friends who have their own platforms now. Sam was a streamer for a while. So I mean, we all try to blend together and like help each other out.
I want to get back into that, but there's just no time, and I have to wait another at least a year because
You'll get it.
all the students in my school learned that I stream, and now I have random students who I don't even have. Like, are you gonna stream? No.
Can't promise you. But hey, you can always go back to stream and just change your name.
Yeah.
But then you gotta start over. I mean, kind of get like that following going again, which makes it harder because now certain people are used to looking for a certain thing, then you gotta rebrand it. It's too much goddamn work.
Yep. What time is it? All right, it is 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm over my 2-hour mark. I just realized I gotta probably have to show up.
But so I don't know if we want to wrap it up here.
Yeah, well, I gotta do the whole kit and caboodle now.
Oh yeah.
Usually we take a time to do a couple of quick seconds on mental health, where people
Yeah.
who are going through a hard time. We usually have a number. Unless Alan's gonna do it, I'll do it real quick myself. But at the bottom of the screen, usually we show across as we talk about the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That there is somebody always there for you, no matter what time of day it is, 7 days a week, 365 or 366 days of the year, depending if it's a leap year. Someone is there to talk to you.
366 this year.
Yep, 366 this year, absolutely. But the biggest thing with mental health is the fact that you are not alone. Somebody will always be there for you. I know myself, the rest of the Basement Show crew. Always have our phones on no matter what time of day it is. I think we're losing Bill for tonight. Bill, thank you for popping in tonight. Always a pleasure having you in chat. Thank you for supporting the show.
Have a good night, Bill.
But yeah, just everyone know that you're not alone when it comes to mental health. So please feel free to reach out to the number you see on your screen, 988, or message one of us here at the Basement Show directly. You can always get a hold of one of us, that's for damn sure.
Oh,
Now, for the rest of the week, for the Basement Show, tomorrow night, everybody says I'm a fearless, nice, kind leader and don't schedule any shows on Wednesday night, so the Basement Show will be off tomorrow night. But then the second half of the week gets real fun. Thursday night, Miss Grimm will be back. Then you have Mama D for Ladies' Night. So if you like shopping advice, gossip, dating advice, or just plain out conversation, join the ladies and show them some support. Guys, we are welcome to take part in the show as well. So please stop by 9 o'clock Thursday nights to show the ladies of the Basement Show some love and appreciation. Then Friday night, we have what we call the Rev Grimm Show. It is pretty mature. He does do a lot of crazy stuff. He puts on a great show. You have your weekly vocab lesson with the Grimm's What the Fuck moments. He does a lot more with the mental health segment. You never know what to expect when it comes to Friday nights. Last week we had a good friend of Grimm's join us, Mr. Farley. They were talking about his new album, Rekindled. You can find that pinned on the top of the Basement Show if you want to listen to his song Too Bad. It is actually a really good song. And he was a really cool guy to listen and talk to. I was saying I'm a very nice boss. Stop kissing my ass, or I'll make you work 5 nights a week. And then Saturday night, we have Drago and Tink's Neverland, which is an informative, fun, laid-back gaming stream with Mr. Heartless and Gingy. But this week, the roles were reversed. We are letting the ladies take over Drago and Tink's Neverland. So, Mrs. Brit and Miss Emily will be sitting in for Heartless and Gingy to play the game while the other two clowns sit back and read their comments. So that should be quite interesting to see. But as you can also see at the bottom, other than Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok, we have the Basement Show Discord. So please, if you're enjoying that, I think Sam, you're already part of that. You can send us a message and we can get you signed up on that, because every single show is represented on the Discord. We're trying to get it more active. And I know we are trying to also build up our Twitter account, X, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I mean.
Hey, Trey stopped in right at the end. What's up, Trey?
Hey, Mr. There you go, Mr. Trey. I just looked down and saw it. I was on his stream earlier. He was playing with Mr. Weiss. They were doing some afternoon Fortnite. So, thank you for popping in at the end, Trey. Much appreciated. Hopefully you can go back and watch the recap, because we talked about a lot tonight. Sam joined us for the last hour.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Hey, it's always fun having you back on the Basement Show.
I have to make my appearance every once in a while. You know, quarterly appearance.
Yeah, even though you're technically not in the basement like I am, but that's okay. The Basement Show goes to dining rooms, bedrooms,
not
you name it.
Not yet. You know, 'cause it's still an apartment. So, but I have a feeling when me and the wife ever get a house, I'm gonna be sent to the garage or the basement.
You can join me in the dark. I'm in the back corner of my house, and it's nice and quiet down here. I do gotta lower this eventually, so though, but that's okay. And lastly, showing across your bottom, we have Holland's Customs, which we're releasing a lot of fun merch, customized merch for representing two awesome kids who unfortunately passed away this past May. So, and then you can also find official Basement Show merchandise on HollandsCustoms.com. We are still looking to try to get the Basement Show Live.com up sometime this year. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty still to come with the Basement Show. So if you haven't done so already, just make sure to like, share, and follow all our socials so you never miss anything. We are probably active a lot on there. We make posts every day, even if we don't have shows. So other than that, thank you everyone who dropped in tonight. We had an awesome crowd presence tonight. Thank you, Mr. Trey, for the like, Jimmy Jukes Gaming, Kevin Peak, Alan Malls. And over on the other side, we have Curtis and Bill dropping the love. So appreciate everybody. And make sure you tune in Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Back here on the Basement Show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch for Ladies' Night. By the net, for Mr. Knast, Mr. Simmons, and everybody else, have a good night.